I was broken down when you found me.
Hi ladies, just want to have a conversation once again. Many of you guys enjoyed the video on singleness and you asked that I do things like this and keep them up. So I was thinking this morning, and this is a conversation that I've had with some other people, and in having that conversation they looked at me like, that's your perspective? Like, wow, that's an interesting perspective. So I thought just talking to you guys about this same topic would be hopefully beneficial to someone, and just getting your thoughts on it. I want to hear, like, how have you been able to cope with this situation that we're about to talk about? Like, it's tough. It's real. Let me know. Okay, so just getting into things. I was in a relationship with someone for 2 years, and I felt as though that person was the one for me. And of course, you know, you may have moments where you feel like the person is for you, but it may not have been that God actually told you that that person was for you. It was more so, it felt right, you know, everybody else believes in the relationship. And so sometimes that overshadows the reality, pretty much, for lack of better words. And so in being with this person, it was just moments where as we got closer to the 2 year mark, or, you know, that pivotal point in your relationship, you know, once you've been together for 2 years, people are, you know, it starts to get more and more an increased reaction from other people. You guys have been together that long. Wow, you know, when are you guys going to get married? You know, the marriage conversation comes up quite often. And we were young at the time. We were, you know, fresh out of college, you know, maybe 21, 22. But in a modern day society, it's not absurd or just something that's so far-fetched for you to be married at that age. Like, that was a typical thing. Like, it's becoming more and more common nowadays. So around 21, 22, you have lots of people who are coming to us, you know, asking us, are you guys going to get married? And so in my relationship, the person that I was with, he would shun away from those conversations. And every time someone would ask, are you guys going to get married? Or, you know, when that conversation would come up, I noticed that he would get very defensive and he would almost have an attitude. And so in my mind, I'm thinking, like, I don't understand this attitude, you know. Although I wasn't completely, like, in a place where I completely knew who I was, I knew that the word marriage, the word marry, in the same sentence with another person, that was not a conversation that should have gone down the path of an attitude. Like, I feel like anyone, and that goes for you guys too, if the word marriage, your name, another person is in a sentence, there should not be an attitude. Like, I don't see how that works in the equation. So every time that would happen, I would have these moments like, I don't understand why you now have an attitude. I don't understand why you are having difficulty comprehending that this is not a situation that you want to make a situation. It shouldn't be a situation. Like, this should be a happy moment for you. You should be embracing this. People think that you and I could be together forever. Like, that is a compliment to you. That's how I felt. And if somebody is doing that to you all, you know, if somebody is suggesting that you could, you know, maybe be with this person for the rest of your life, you know, they see something in that usually comes with a smile attached, or it usually comes with an embrace. Like, wow, boo, like, people think we have a future. Like, they think we have potential. You get excited about that in a relationship. For another person to pretty much give that stamp of approval that, hey, this could work, you know, is usually a good thing. But in my relationship, it was clearly not a good thing. He would just get very uncomfortable. And now I understand why. You know, we were young, and, you know, that's just not where he was. And I'm okay with that now. Then I was just like, okay, like, why are we still together? Like, what is going on? I was confused. But just in lieu of things, he was just always so frustrated with the conversation with me. But then now, he's married, and I am very happy for him. I am. And the topic of what do you do when your ex gets married and you're still single? Let's talk about that. So I've been asked this, and people often bring up that relationship, and he's now married, and it's funny. My sister, she loved him. Like, she thought he was the funniest guy ever. And he is. He's a very funny guy. He's very approachable, very personable guy. And he's fun to be around. Like, let's be honest, he is. And when she found out that he got engaged, she was trying to keep it away from me. She was scared she was almost scared to tell me. And I feel like I'm a very mature individual. I'm also a very secure individual now, so that conversation, when it comes up, if you're in a situation where you bump into your ex, who, when you guys were together, didn't want to even talk about marriage, like me and my relationship had issues with other people, would want to talk about marriage in association to you. They made it an issue. It was a problem. And you now bump into this individual, or you see on Facebook, or it's become the hot topic. So-and-so got married. What should be your perspective? How should you feel? Should you be awkward? Should you have an attitude? My answer is no, you shouldn't. Simple. No. What should you do? Embrace it. Be happy for that person. I'm gonna be honest, sometimes in the beginning, when he had his relationship and it was serious, and you see a person demonstrating characteristics that you wanted them to have or display towards you in your relationship, there is this kind of uneasiness in the beginning, as you're growing and kind of sifting through things. So in the beginning of it, I was kind of, in the beginning stages, it's kind of a little sensitive, because in my relationship, there were some things, and I won't get into those things, that just did not happen towards me. But what I've learned is that, I had a conversation with one of my guy friends who was actually one of my exes, and we are now the best of friends now. And just in dialoguing about, relationships and things like that, it's like, well, what happens if you get to a place and there's been this situation where you're the one that gives, you're the one that has to be the bigger person, you're the one that, shows the emotion, who tries your best to give what's necessary in a relationship, and you don't get that in return. My response to that was, what you get out of it is knowing that you did your part and that you poured into that person. They may not admit it, but you helped to shape who they are. And that's not being arrogant. That's not, trying to take some type of credit, but that's just what it is. In dating and being in relationships and things like that, you grow, and I believe God allows certain situations, allows certain people to be in your life for a reason. You're supposed to learn something from every person that you were with. It may not have been a permanent situation. It may have been temporal. And what was necessary for you to get out of the relationship, I believe that you get it. Although you may not recognize it, you get it. And what I got from that situation, what I got from that relationship was thicker skin. I learned to love myself more. I learned not to rely on an individual to make me, to validate me. I feel like I grew stronger being around his family and, his group of people. I feel like they made me better. He made me better. And I'm not ashamed to say that. It may have been in an indirect way, him making me better, but that situation, it made me better. So I'm thankful for that. And so now in his relationship, now that I'm seeing, him now embracing marriage, because that was not something that he was wanting to happen with us, although he would have moments and we had conversations like, we're going to get married and all this stuff. But then when other people would bring it up, it's like an issue. And I'm like, okay, dude, like seriously, like you should be happy right now. But although I didn't reap the benefits of this now great person, and not that he was a bad person then, because he wasn't a bad person. You know, we grow and develop, and we become better, and he's better, and I see that. And so in my mindset is now, I'm thankful for that. Like, I am thankful that I had the privilege of being in a relationship with that person and being able to now see those things that I asked for, those things that were an issue, and that at that time in our lives. Now those things have manifested. He's grown, he's matured. And that's where you guys should be. You should be in a perspective of, you know what? I helped in that relationship. He helped me, I helped him. You know, the person he's developed into, I'm not gonna like bad mouth him, or, you know, bad mouth his relationship. Kudos to you. Like, I'm happy for you. Like, literally, when I say I'm happy for you, I don't believe in just talking. Like, when I say something, I mean it. And when I look at their relationship, I'm like so happy for them. Like, literally, his wife, like, I don't know her at all, but I think they are perfect for each other. And I like, they almost look alike. And I literally pray for them. And you might look at me like, what? Like, yeah, I do. I pray for them because I want God to continue to shine his light on them. I want their marriage to be something that flourishes. Why not want that for somebody? Especially if I'm all about, before I get into a relationship with someone, I want to develop a friendship first. And so when we break up that friendship, because we did take time to develop that, that's something that's still very much so something that I keep in mind, that you are my friend first. And I care about you. And not only that I care about you, you know, in the sense of I loved you at some point in time, but I care about you as my brother or my, well, you're not my sister because I'm not, okay. So I care about you as a person, as an individual. I wouldn't deny the God that's on your life. Although, you know, in the relationship, things may not have gone the way I would have liked them. I embrace the person that you become. I feel like what I poured into you, what I prayed for, I'm now seeing manifest. I don't get to reap the benefits, but I'm thankful. I'm so thankful that God did that in your life. And so instead of taking on the perspective of, he didn't do that for me, and like, why is he now doing that for her? Like, what does she have that I don't have? What she has that you don't have is that she's it for him. And what he lacked, the person that you're meant to be with is just going to overshadow all of that. And, you know, in that situation where this person has now moved on, you've also moved on. And coming into the understanding of knowing that, you know what? He made me better. You know what? If it's not him, there are qualities about him that I loved. There was qualities about this one, that one that I loved. He's now doing, or he's now able to experience what I wanted, what I desire, the whole marriage thing. And it's like, in the beginning, you don't know how to react, but to take on the perspective that, you know what, I'm happy for him. I'm thankful for what God is doing in him. It's difficult in the beginning, of course, and to get to that mentality, you know, can sometimes be a challenge, but you know what? I feel like God honors that. When you're not jealous, when you're not envious, and you're not like throwing shade, pretty much, you know, on their relationship, that yours is just going to be so much better. And not that it's going to be better than theirs, because I say this, but I make sure I clarify when I say that. Not that I'm saying my relationship is going to be better than theirs, you know, because, you know, he's married and I feel like I gave and I did this and that. Whatever. That's not what I'm saying. When I say that, I'm saying that the person that I'm meant to be with, our relationship is going to be better. It's going to be stronger. It's going to be what it's supposed to be. It's going to be destined. It's going to be purposeful. It's going to have an impact. It's going to be great because that's who I'm supposed to be with. And the same things that I desire and I feel like it's better, mine is going to be better. His is also better because I wasn't meant for him. Like, let's just be honest. I wasn't meant for him. And sometimes we feel bad and we're like, well, gracious, like, what did I not have? And, you know, why didn't he do all those things for me? He didn't do those things for me. He didn't do those things for you because you weren't it. And it's okay that you weren't it. It's actually a good thing. Because if you probably ended up with that person that you were just so hasty and just so wanting to be with, you probably would have ended up killing each other, or, you know, having arguments all the time, or dealing with the same issues over and over again because you were not supposed to be attached or connected to that person. So I cannot wait to hear your perspective on this. What do you do when you run into someone or you get wind of your ex now getting married? I shared with you guys how I felt, like my reaction. My sister danced all around that conversation. She was trying not to tell me. And she told me after she did, like, I didn't know how you were going to receive it. Like, I was a little nervous. I didn't know but it's okay. Tell me. I want to hear about it. Like, I would love to literally sit down with them. And I told y'all, like, literally, I am a sap. I love hearing love stories. I don't care if it was from my ex. I don't care if it was from Kanye on the street. I want to know if you are in a successful, if you're in a good relationship and there's love there and there's that God factor, I want to know about it. I want to know all the details. I literally talked to one of my exes and we have conversations about the relationship, and I get excited like I'm in the relationship, like I didn't actually date this guy. Let me know your thoughts. I cannot wait to hear them. And write those down below. Talk to you girls later.
When you found me